Hey, sunshine.
Tell her how.
We're ready to go. We're ready to start.
Are we missing video?
See her at this moment.
I'll track her down. She went to the restroom.
Okay, Jenny. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the benefit of being
What was that? I don't know the exact components.
Should I just leave this here?
Here, or do you want to put it up somewhere? I thought you were petting your cat the way you were fondling your purse.
They are our Christmas gift. And we appreciate every single one of you so much. So much. And I know that right after your last song today, you're leaving to go celebrate together. And I just wanted to make sure that you get the full load of love that we feel for you. What a day. What a day this has already been. What a day I know it is continuing to be. And as I look into each of your faces and see your eyes shining back at me, it is, this really is a two-way street. In case it's never occurred to you, what someone who carries a title of minister or pastor or priest or whatever, certainly their work, if you will, I don't consider it work, but that's all right. Their work is to share what they know, what they've learned, what they feel about life and about what life means and about what life gives and about how we live that life and how we learn to make self-loving choices. But it wouldn't happen. None of that would happen. I mean, sure, write a book in a vacuum, but it wouldn't happen the same way if it wasn't for you. Because your participation, your interest, your curiosity, your willingness to just be in the room with each other and with me is, you know, I said about Carol Rose that she's in Florida with her entire family. And I don't think they've all been in the same place together at one time since they were kids. And since before the kids of kids were born, if you know what I mean. You are my family. You are my spiritual family. And your presence and your engagement with me as we share together, because even though it seems like I'm the only one, usually, Denise and Patty, talking, you're talking back to me. You're guiding me. You're giving to me in the same way that I'm giving to you. It's very special. So what's all that got to do with winter solstice? Now, when Denise does her meditation, offers her meditation following our little break, you will hear a whole different extension of what it is that I'm saying. The reason that I chose to speak about winter solstice today is because there are so many of these ancient traditions that people have funny ideas about. And those funny ideas largely come from other people's funny ideas. You know, about paganism. I just recently learned that paganism was a word that was created to create separation between the old and the new. It wasn't really, nobody no indigenous person who believed in the ancient traditions ran around calling themselves a pagan. It's just so fascinating to me to look from where we are into the depths of where we've come from, where our ancestors have come from, and where their ancestors have come from, and where their ancestors have come from, and how that journey shaped life. As I've said before, bless you on the truth, as I've said before, about, I think many times now, about the ancient traditions, about the indigenous peoples, and I'm speaking of indigenous peoples from all over, wherever there was life, wherever there was human being life. So for each indigenous group, it's different, but one thing is the same. And that is that their foundational beliefs were based in nature. What they observed around them, whether it was the earth itself and when they discovered seeds that you could stick things in the earth and they would grow and they would provide food. And the mountains, there was snow on the mountains, and that became water, and water fed what was in the earth. And so all of their observations were earth-based, were nature-based. And winter solstice is part of that. Winter solstice is not just some dreamed up, concocted, woo-woo thing. Winter solstice is actually honoring this intriguing thing that happens in the sky where the sun seems to stand still. And the day is much shorter and the night is much longer. And then the thing that happens next is the days start getting longer and the nights start getting shorter. Well, what can we learn from that? What we can learn from that is that as we've moved into what is referred to in the ancient traditions as the dark time, as we move into the dark time, it is an invitation, it's an invitation to animals. We know that certain animals hibernate, right? Well, observing that animals hibernate and they aren't as active and they aren't making babies and they aren't doing things like that during the dark time, taught the indigenous peoples that maybe there was an invitation here. That maybe nature was saying, this is a time to slow down. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. This was a time to slow down and go into the quiet and not only be okay with that, but recognize that that was a part of self-nurturing. That it was as necessary as knowing when to plant things and knowing how to take care of those plants. We too are a plant. We are a plant. And our rhythms are influenced by a lot of things, not the least of which is the changing seasons. Now, some people, I've found out from my own experience here in Santa Fe, think that the changing seasons are really about knowing when it's time for us to deal with allergies. But there are other things besides allergies. And there is a time, as Denise beautifully shared in her reading, there is a time when we are invited to go within and to be quiet. And for being quiet to be okay. Just because we aren't, or maybe we are racing around, but even if we're racing around because that comes with the season for some people, not me anymore, just because we're racing around doesn't mean that we need to do it every waking moment. Because whether this stuff gets done or not isn't what's important. How present are you? How available are you? How available are you even to yourself? To just stop. Deborah used the word this morning that I love so much, pause, and make some new discoveries, self-discoveries. This is the time to do that. To be open to that, to be available to that. And let's say, for instance, because I happen to know people, including in my very closest world. Let's say, for instance, that we experience sadness during this time. Because we have a missing in our life. Someone that we love, or someones that we love are no longer here. And even though we know that love never dies, and we know that they're really with us all the time, we may feel their absence more keenly this time of year than any other. And again, that's influenced by the greater cycle that is unfolding. And what I would ask us all to do is, whatever our feelings are, honor them. Give them a safe and sacred space to be in you. Exactly. I love it when God calls, because I always recognize then that I'm on the right track. Just give them a safe place, your feelings, to be in you. A place where you can love them and honor them and recognize them, and know that that is just part of loving and honoring and recognizing those who are no longer here and the gifts that they gave when they were. And our gift to them in the moment may be missing. Maybe what I call a missing. Because that's what's happening, is the physical person is no longer here, and we're missing being able to hear their voice on demand, to be able to go to where they are and see them, reach out and touch them. And that deserves an honoring. Not only for them, but for you. There is an old story. An indigenous story. That before there was anything, there was this vast black nothing. And what couldn't be seen in that vast black nothing was that it was teeming with life. Because had we been looking at it with our critical and judgmental and know-it-all eyes, we would have said, it's a vast black nothing. And out of that vast black nothing, there appeared a woman. A crone. An older woman in a very regal robe of indigo and purple. And she looked around at the vast black nothing, and she decided that it wouldn't do, because it needed to at least hint at what was coming. And she found somewhere in her robes a long, thin, sharp something. And she poked at the vast black nothing all over the place. You know, the way you would a potato or something that you're roasting. She just poked it all over the place. And what was revealed as she poked through the vast black nothing were stars. Was light. Because within the vast black nothing, there was life. And the awareness of that life and its eminent revelation was the light coming through what appeared to be nothing. We are surrounded by a lot of things right now that appear to be nothing. Or appear to be something undesired, or appear to be dangerous. And what I'd like for you to take away with you today is to remember the vast black nothing and the stars that were simply hidden, the light that was simply hidden by the fact that nobody had poked a hole in it. The light is there. The light is here in each of us. The light is everywhere. And if we don't see it, then we need to turn our own light up.